Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Pearson, broadcast director at Farm Progress, and welcome to this Farm Progress Fast Chat. Today, we're talking with Taylor Moreland. He's the founder and CEO of Agra Spray Drones. Taylor, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Over the past 5 years, the conversation around spray drones has changed a lot, Taylor. From your perspective, what's driving the evolution in the industry, and why are farmers paying more attention today?
Well, I think the same things I was driving it 5 years ago when we first started is driving it today. So still more demand and more supply demand gap of aerial application. More farmers are wanting aerial application, and pilots are not able to keep the supply of that application service up. So we're seeing more farmers adopt spray drones. We're also seeing these spray drones get bigger, get easier to use, and thus increase the adoption rate.
Many farmers are familiar with airplanes and ground sprayers. Where do spray drones fit within today's application toolbox, and when do they provide the greatest value?
Well, spray drones are much more similar to any other type of aerial application, helicopter, airplane application. They are less similar to ground rig application. So spray drones are going to be doing things that ground rigs can't do, like fly over wet ground, fly over tall crops. And basically what helicopters and airplanes already do, but they do things differently as well from helicopters and airplanes, where they're autonomous, meaning that if you plan the mission, it will do the mission exactly how you plan it. They can be flown in tight spaces in hilly environments, so trees and large hills, and they can be programmed to do a lot of spot spray application. So not just the entire field, but maybe only parts of the field. And really, this is, in terms of, helicopter, airplane, and then drone, the biggest advantage with drones is A, cost perspective. They're much more cost effective. And B, it's a tool that you can provide application when, where, and how you want it done, regardless of crop condition or field condition.
What advancements in technology, training, and support have helped spray drones become a more practical and reliable option for farmers and commercial applicators?
Well, when spray drones first started, and we saw this firsthand with our first customers about 5 or 6 years ago, it was really just early adopters, those who were willing to take a risk on new technology and try something new. And now it's moved in kind of the early majority phase, and we see a lot of farmers that had, no intention of getting into spray drones, getting into it now. But what has changed on the technology side, like I mentioned earlier, is these drones are bigger, but they're also easier to use. So they have new sensors on them, so they can detect obstacles better. They can detect terrain better. They have new software that is easier to plan and map. They've got new cloud infrastructure so that you can actually pull your as applied data. And the big thing really that's supporting a lot of this is not anything to do with technology, but it's the support perspective. One of our biggest uh, priorities here at Agra Spray Drones is to actually develop a large dealer network that can provide support and service, because this is ag equipment, right? It's drones are drones, but these are ag equipment drones, and they need to be supported as such, meaning parts, service, and training needs to be provided locally to those farmers, and that's exactly what we're trying to do here. Another thing that we've seen to increase the adoption has also been regulatory guidance on the FAA, which is a big piece of the puzzle. And the FAA has actually been tailoring some of the regulations to make more sense, to make it a bit easier to get into spray drones, not having to be a full-blown commercial helicopter or airplane pilot just to get into it. But now there are specific regulations specifically for drones.
And of course, this industry continues to evolve, Taylor. What trends or opportunities do you believe will have the biggest impact on how these spray drones are used over the next couple of years?
Well, on the technology side, we're not going to see these drones get that much bigger. There's basically a limitation on battery technology right now for mass scale of battery technology, which does limit the size of these spray drones. But what we are going to see, what we are working on here at Agra Spray Drones actually, with our manufacturers, is swarming technology. So that multiple drones can be run in one field by a single pilot with less workload than a single drone. So that's not just in software to provide, basically location reference of each drone in the field communicating together, but also in hardware. At Agra Spray Drones, we've also developed the drone dock for the J150 that is automated refill, hands-free refill. which is one of the biggest pieces of workload. It's not the actual flying of the drone, it's the actual battery swaps and tank refill. Every 7 minutes, you're refilling the tank, swapping the battery, you're doing that literally all day long. And that's becoming a challenge because we're used to sitting in a tractor cab covering a 100-acre field, and now you're sitting outside swapping a battery, then it can be a labor challenge. So working on improving and further evolving the automation of the ground side of spray drone automation is going to be a big step change in the adoption rate. We're working on automated battery swap systems and charging systems as well, to where this can truly be an autonomous platform. And once it is, once that's proven reliable, then we're going to see the adoption of spray drones on farms increase rapidly.
Now, AgriSpray Drones has played an active role in driving this industry forward. Taylor, how is your team helping farmers, dealers, and operators confidently adopt this new technology?
When I started with AgriSpray drones, I was actually a Pioneer seed dealer, and I started selling ag chemical. And that's when I realized the supply demand gap just in my local area of aerial application. More farmers wanted aerial application done than they could get the service for. And so what we started doing at AgriSpray drones, and what I started doing even prior to AgriSpray drones, is testing spray drones. So really understanding what the limitations were, how to use them, how to train pilots how to use them. And so that's what we first started doing, is a lot on the education and training side. We still do a ton of that. We launched AgriSpray drones in 2020, did a full year of testing before we got into sales of the actual equipment. So we do distribution is our biggest piece of the puzzle. So distribution of spray drone equipment to our dealer network, and then training our dealer network and end users on how to better use the equipment. And then service is absolutely huge piece of the puzzle, making sure this equipment stays in the air and continues to work for these operators. So distribution, sales, after sales service, training, education, testing, all of the above.
Well, Taylor, if we've got folks who want to learn more about AgriSpray drones, where would you send them?
Sure. So agrispraydrones.com, that's our website. You can find a lot of information on there. We're also pretty active on social media, our Facebook page at AgriSpray Drones, and our YouTube page at AgriSpray Drones. We do a lot of content trying to educate operators on what this equipment does, how to use it, how to make it work better.
There's so much happening in the world of AgriSpray drones. Taylor Moreland, founder and CEO of AgriSpray Drones, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thank you.